X-Men 97 showcases the importance of choosing fresh and unexplored villains for the MCU's X-Men movie. Magneto's repeated centrality risks overshadowing other adversaries. To combat this, the reboot needs a diversified roster of antagonists.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Marvel's triumphant X-Men 97 has demonstrated how perfectly the MCU's X-Men movie should handle its villains. X-Men 97 Season 1 revived the beloved 1990s X-Men the Animated Series and received widespread acclaim. One especially effective aspect was the way it managed its villains, a lesson that Marvel would be wise to remember for its live-action MCU X-Men movie. The MCU's X-Men movie has been planned since Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, concluding Fox's X-Men timeline and regaining movie rights to the characters. Since then, mutants have begun appearing in the MCU, most notably Beast in the Marvels. As Marvel begins planning how to introduce the mighty mutant heroes, it should consider how 2024's immensely successful X-Men 97 addressed classic X-Men villains.
Classic!
Bastion proved to be an incredible villain in X-Men 97, proving that audiences don't necessarily need villains they are familiar with for them to succeed. Bastion was revealed in the latter half of X-Men 97 as the villainous mastermind behind the entire season. Bringing Bastion to life for the first time on film or TV, this pervasive nature was extremely effective and greatly contributed to the show's popularity. Bastion's success in X-Men 97 demonstrates that Marvel should choose an unexplored villain from the X-Men pantheon for its live-action movie. While it would be tempting to repeat the success of previous X-Men movie villains like Magneto or the Sentinels, using a fresh foe would be much more captivating and would push the narratives into lesser explored areas. Certainly, certain characters who dominated the franchise should be used more sparingly. The MCU's X-Men reboot offers a golden opportunity to diversify its roster of antagonists, moving beyond the perennial focus on Magneto. Magneto, portrayed masterfully by Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender, has been the cornerstone villain in both the original X-Men trilogy and the prequel movies. However, his repeated centrality risks overshadowing the multitude of adversaries available in the X-Men universe.
Too many of them!
Magneto's ideological clash with Professor Xavier in the original trilogy provided a compelling narrative, leaving little room for other villains to shine. Even in the prequels, where the backdrop of historical events and Magneto's complex motivations were explored, he remained integral to each major plot. The MCU timeline should explore the depth of the X-Men Rogues Gallery to refresh the franchise. Villains like Mr. Sinister, with his obsession with genetic manipulation, or the Shadow King with his psychic powers and ties to the astral plane, are ideal choices who could pose a formidable threat. These characters can introduce fresh conflicts and elevate the narrative beyond the mutant versus human paradigm. By focusing on a broader range of villains, the MCU can now offer new challenges for the X-Men, exploring different aspects of their abilities and philosophies, and ensuring that Magneto's presence in X-Men, when included, remains powerful and not overused, much like in the same way X-Men 97 managed to.
Bring it on.